Actually, you know, if you look at what's going on with the Democrats and the party, it's getting smaller and smaller. You know, in a certain way, I hate to see it because I like a two-party system, and we're soon going to have a one-party system. I actually think a two-party system is healthy and good, but she's done a terrible job.
So she's wrong?
Well, I don't think she's a good spokesman. She's certainly wrong. Those that say I've done more than anybody in 100 days, hey, look, just at the money I've saved.
President Trump slamming Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi joins me now. Madam Leader, welcome. I see you're wearing your suffragette white.
I am, and my suffragette purple.
And your suffragette purple, dressed for tonight. Your response to the president?
Well, he's commenting on my statement that he made that nobody knew how complicated health care legislation is. And what I said was, it reminded me of a Yogi Berra joke where Yogi Berra brings home a report card and his father has to sign it. And his father says, "Yogi, don't you know anything?" And he says, "No, I don't even suspect anything." That reminds me of President Trump, and we've obviously gotten under his skin.
Well, in fact, we had that all ready to play, so let me play that now. This is the president yesterday saying how they didn't know how complicated health care was.
Nobody knew that health care could be so complicated. I see it happening with Obamacare. People hate it, but now they see that the end is coming, and they're saying, oh, maybe we love it. There's nothing to love. It's a disaster, folks.
Now, speaking of complicated, the president has a budget outline. He's going to be speaking to it tonight. He's talking about $54 billion more for the military and really slashing domestic discretionary spending and the State Department, diplomacy, soft power. You've got 120 admirals and generals, retired top 3 stars and 4 stars, writing a letter to you all saying that is a terrible idea. That would really weaken America abroad.
Well, it is true, and what most people don't know is that the defense budget is strictly the military side. We all believe that our strength of our nation should certainly be in our military might, but also in the health, education, and well-being of the American people. On the domestic side of the budget is where you find Veterans Affairs, State Department, Homeland Security. So if you diminish the investments in soft power, you are endangering the country. The generals made a very clear case for having the balance.
He is saying that he would accept Homeland from that. He would put Homeland in the same basket as military. But most budget experts, Maya McGinnis from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget was with us yesterday, say there's just not enough money in domestic discretionary spending and the State Department to make up for $54 billion.
There isn't enough, and what he's doing is abandoning the agreement that we had when we went forward post-sequestration and the rest, that any increases or any decreases in one side would be matched on the other side, that there would be symmetry. But what the president said about himself, he said nobody knew how complicated health care would be. He obviously didn't know that, but he also doesn't know what the budget is about. It's a statement of our values. It's how we create growth and jobs for people in our country. It's how we educate people to reach their aspirations. It's about our military might. So in his statements, he's clearly indicating yet another area where he didn't know and thinks nobody else does as well.
Well, if you don't take it from domestic discretionary, and if you do increase the military budget at all, even if not to the extent that he wants to, you've got to go to entitlements. As Speaker Ryan deflected when Matt Lauer asked him about that today. The president has ruled that out. Are Democrats willing to stand up and say to their constituents, something's got to give, or else this budget deficit is going to be, blown way out of
Well, actually, you hear different things at different times from the president and from the speaker. The fact is the speaker's budget that members have voted on a number of times takes away the guarantee of Medicare. it takes away the guarantee. Medicare is a guarantee. If you take away the guarantee, you've changed the nature of it. You've put seniors at the mercy of going shopping with a voucher, a small voucher for their health care. So that's not going to fly. Public sentiment is everything, Abraham Lincoln. When the public sees what these choices are and how they actually diminish our strength as a nation, do you think that the president can sell, I'm increasing the military budget by 10% so that I can take it out of your Social Security, your Medicare, your Medicaid? He really doesn't know how complicated it is, because Medicaid, for example, it helps our poor children. That's one part of it. But 50% of the money spent in nursing homes comes from Medicaid. The whole opioid epidemic is well served by Medicaid. Don't take it from me. The governor of Ohio has said, Governor Kasich, thank God for Medicaid. That money is going to help us help in rehab. So these things are there for a purpose. Should we always test them, that they do the best job for their purpose, for the American people? Certainly, yes. But when you say that the president is exempting Homeland Security from any cuts, that means there are even further cuts on the domestic side. It would mean maybe 100,000 children would not have access to Head Start. It would mean over $3 billion in cuts at the National Institutes of Health, 1,000 fewer grants being made to our investments in science. Science, the power, the biblical power to cure, and again, a job creator. So this president has shown nothing in terms of jobs, job creation, raising wages, building infrastructure. He's put nothing forward, and he thinks he could tell people he's done more than anyone. Well, that might work in his book, but it isn't real in our lives.
Now, you're a member of the Gang of Eight, the top leaders who get briefed on intelligence. Is it appropriate for the House Intelligence Chairman Nunes, to be at the White House bidding, trying to push back against the New York Times and others reporting on the allegations of the Russia connection?
No, it's totally inappropriate. First of all, if he's speaking from information he received from a classified setting, that's really against the rules of the House. If, in fact, he's just catering to the whim of the president, then I think he has to be held accountable for that.
Well, Sean Spicer said yesterday this has all been investigated. Is the investigation over? Is there nothing there?
Started. What we are calling for is an independent outside commission. Take it away from Congress, take it away from politics, an independent outside commission to look into the political, personal, and financial ties of the Trump organization, him personally, his businesses, his campaign, to the Russians.
Do you have any evidence of anything, of any of those ties being real?
Well, whatever I can talk about here, but what the point is that let's find out. American people want to know the truth. He could begin by releasing his tax returns. Why should every president since Gerald Ford in modern history have released his tax returns, but this president say, I'm above not only the law, but the traditions of the office.
Trust the Attorney General and FBI Director Comey to do an independent probe?
I think that the Attorney General should recuse himself. His ties are so close to the Trump campaign. He should recuse himself. It remains to be seen what the FBI director will do. We keep asking him, are you doing the investigations? Are you following the path? American people want the truth. Just what are the Republicans afraid of that they will not investigate when they've been madly in love with investigating everything in the Obama administration?
Now, there are reports that the leadership, the Democratic leadership, has advised Democratic members to be polite, not to do anything untoward tonight. But certainly you've got the color, the white color. Is that your silent protest?
Oh, it's not even a protest. It's a statement of values. It associates ourselves with our suffragette mothers, the color white, the color purple. And
so the women Democrats are likely to all be wearing white tonight?
Some will be many will be wearing white. But the fact is our House Democratic caucus